Hey y'all, it's Latoya Tennille, and it's time for the church search. And let me tell y'all something. This video for this Sunday's church was really hard for me to do, right? I'm gonna tell you how hard it was, because today is actually Wednesday, and I went to church on Sunday. I spent that many days contemplating how I was gonna say what I have to say. How was I gonna convey this? Because y'all know I don't do this to bash churches. It's never my intention to make a church look bad. So I'm gonna tell you about my experience, but I will not tell you where I went. And if I went to your church, you saw me Sunday, please don't be mad at me. Please don't take what I'm saying about your church personally. Please don't look at it as a way of me being negative, because that's definitely not what I want to do. But I have a responsibility and an objective when I do these church reviews, to be honest. But again, I do not like bashing churches, so I will tell y'all about my experience. I'll tell you why I feel the way about my experience, but I will not, under any terms, certain terms, tell people where I went. Now, if a church member decides to comment up under here and talk about what I said or defend their church, I can't control that. And I want to apologize if what I'm about to say is going to offend you, because that's definitely not my intention. Maybe you can take some of the stuff that I'm saying about my experience as constructive criticism. This is one of the churches that was recommended by a member. She said, hey, come visit my church. And like y'all know, on Sunday morning, I don't know where I'm going until the morning of. That's just what I do. I wait and I say, okay, this is where I'm going to go. So like after church started at 10:30, I actually arrived at 10:30. I actually got identified as I was parking my car. That immediately made me nervous, because I don't like to be identified when I go, because I don't want people to change because of me. Because it has happened. I just literally just want to be a part of the worship experience. But tell people about my experience. The lady that identified me was like, hey, you can sit with me. Okay, cool. So I sit with her, which really, that made everything else that happened so awkward, because the lady that invited me had me sit beside her. We walk into church, and the pastor's wife, who is also the co-pastor of the church, is up doing devotion. Now, I'm gonna tell you this church service is really like, their order of service is really like old school service, like devotion, responsive reading, an A selection, B selection. It's outlined like that, which is cool, because they gave me a program. You know, you don't get programs anymore. I actually had a program to kind of be able to follow along with what's going on. So the pastor's wife is up, aka also the co-pastor, and she's doing devotion. I noticed that. I noticed everything. I noticed that she was up doing devotion, but she was doing it without music. But I did notice that there was a setup for an organ, and there was a setup for a keyboard, and besides that was a drum set. But nobody was up there. I was okay, whatever. And so she's doing devotion without music, and she goes into devotion, and she's doing it, you know. And in devotion, after devotion, they switch to praise and worship. So the praise and worship team get in the pulpit, and it's actually 3 young ladies doing praise and worship. So what they did was they played instrumental music to sing their first song, which is okay. That's fine, because again, I've seen it before. It's no big deal. What got me was one of the praise team members' mic was obviously louder than the rest of the people, because she drowned out the rest of the people singing. And not only did she drown them out, it didn't sound great. I'm just gonna say it didn't sound good. It did not sound great at all. So, and so next, we go into another part of service, and then it's time for the praise team to come back up and sing. So the praise team gets up and sing, and it's still the same 3 people. But I noticed this time they have a keyboardist there. The keyboard guy is up there playing. Now, I saw him when he walked into church, right? So he got to church late. And I guess at some point when he got to church, he slid in to play keyboard for the praise team this time. And again, the praise team is up there, and sister in the middle with the loud microphone is screaming while they singing loud and wrong. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play a piece of it right now, because I want y'all to listen to it. I took video. I'm not gonna show you, but I want y'all to hear what I heard. And so, but I realized the woman next to me says, sometimes I play the drums for them to help them out. And I say, oh, okay. So she sits there for a couple of minutes. Then she gets up and goes to start playing the drums behind them singing. Y'all, I'm not making this up. This actually happened. And so they sound better with the drums, but it's still like, okay. So then we move on in service, and the pastor preaches. He actually he preaches he preaches a good sermon. So he preached from 2 Corinthians 5-17. My change has come. It was a really, really, really good sermon. You know, I love me a good sermon. I love me a good word. Some of the key points that I got from the sermon were: when you realize who you are in Christ Jesus, your change is going to come. Your old ways aren't working, which is ironic, but on to the next point. The problem with everything would come with change is that some people don't want to change. And since they don't want to change, they stay the same. They stay in the same ways. There's no growth. There's no progress. And so we have to realize that sometimes that in order to grow, to get better, to do better, you have to be willing to change. Now, I want to say that these are really, really, really nice people, right? These are really, really, really nice people. However, being nice people is not the only thing that you need to have, to me, because again, this is all my opinion, a good church service. After the preacher got done preaching, the praise team went back again. Of course, they had the keyboardist and then the drummer left again to go up there to play drums behind them. This time it was 4 women instead of 3. Yeah. And this baby in the microphone screaming. But I also want to say this, because at some point during the service, and I think it was while he was preaching, one of the ladies that was on the praise team was sitting across from me in another pew. So my pew was here, her pew was here. And she was one of the ladies that was on the praise team. She actually has a really, really pretty voice. Very, because you know how at the end of class, the pastor preaching, they're singing, but it's like really low singing. She was singing, and I could hear her. She sounds absolutely amazing. And I'm pretty sure the rest of the church members know that. However, if she wasn't sitting next to me, I would have never known that. Seeing her sing on the praise team, because when she sang with the praise team, whoever this baby was in the middle with the loud mic, totally drowned her out. So, and I want to say this because I know it's church, and then we want to excuse a lot of things because it's church. We want to be like, oh, at least God deserves more. And I want to say that the music ministry is very important. We can't forget, or we can't skip over how important music ministry is. So when we are ministering, how you sing at home in your shower is okay. How you sing in your car on the way to work is okay. I just think, and again, I'm going to say I and think, because it's personal, when you stand before people to sing, to minister to them, it needs to sound at least decent. It needs to be able to be heard where people can take it. Because I was just like, oh my God. And I know I wasn't the only person thinking it, but they just sit through this Sunday after Sunday like it's okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. And maybe they need someone to help. Maybe they need someone to come in. I don't know what it needs. What's crazy is me listening to what their music ministry was Sunday. They actually have a concert coming up soon. So you're going to subject, although they have other churches and stuff coming. They coming. But that's what you're going to, we got to remember that everything you do inside your church to a visitor represents you as a church. So if maybe right now y'all need to just play Bluetooth music until you get this music ministry put together, then so be it. But this baby screaming in the microphone over everybody is not it. And you have a person that can sing, and she's willing to sing in front of people. Maybe she should sing by herself or turn this baby mic down. This is so hard for me, y'all. Yeah, so that's how service was for me Sunday. This is so hard, but I feel like I had to do it. I had a couple talks with some people like, Toya, you gonna do it, you gonna do it. This has been Latoya Tania. This has been the Church Search. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you would like for me to visit your church, I'll be more than happy to. Leave your church in the comments. And as always, be awesome on purpose. Have a great day.